What's going on, people? Back at you again this morning with another best life moment. What I want to talk about in this best life moment is happiness. Happiness. What's your biggest obstacle to happiness? What's your biggest obstacle? Because people define happiness in a lot of different manners, and to be to the point, so I don't be too long on this vid. When you turn over the responsibility for your happiness to people, stuff, material things and all of that stuff, you set yourself up for failure. Because ultimately, one of the biggest obstacles, in my opinion, that people have with happiness is looking for happiness in all the wrong places. Happiness is something that should be sought within and not externally. Because external things change. If your happiness is tied to money, guess what? When you ain't got no money, you ain't happy. If your happiness is tied to material things, when the material things are gone, you have no happiness. If your happiness is tied to people, guess what? When people are no longer around, you ain't got no happiness. Happiness is your responsibility. When you give something else the power of determining whether or not you are happy, again, you set yourself up for failure. And I'm going to end with this. I've learned that one of the major reasons why people have a hard time figuring out what it's going to take to make them happy is simply because we don't know ourselves as well as we think we know ourselves. And we lose sight of the fact that, life is lived in seasons. What made me happy when I was 20 is irrelevant now that I'm 52. What made me happy when I was 30 is irrelevant it's irrelevant now that I'm 52. What made me happy when I was 40 is irrelevant now that I'm 52. Because guess what? Those were different seasons in life. And my mentality or my focus may have been on something entirely different than what it is right now. I used to be happy running the streets in my 20s, my late teens, early 20s. I used to be happy. That ain't part of my happiness plan now that I'm 52. You see what I'm saying? See where I'm going with this? Your happiness depends on where you are in life, and it's what makes you happy. My happiness has never been tied up in people, places, or things, because I know that people, places, and things change, and it changing, that means your level of happiness change. So you have to be careful on your external stimuli when it comes to your happiness, because if that thing is taken away, that means that your happiness goes right with it. Happiness is something that should be sought on the inside. What makes your soul do backwards flips? And keep in mind that too changes, because of seasons in life. So again, take some time, to figure out what's your obstacles to happiness. And then, in doing that, take some time to realize what season in life you're in, because priorities mature, and in that maturity, priorities change. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this Best Life Moment with Coach P. Cooks. Peace, and I'm out.